Take a breath, just one slow breath before we begin, because what you are about to hear might be the thing that finally makes everything click. Not because it is complicated, but because it is true. And deep down, you already know it. Here it is. Every single thing you do counts. Every thought, every choice, every moment of effort that nobody sees. Every time you almost gave up but did not. Every time you whisper to yourself, just one more try. It all counts. And today, I am going to show you exactly how. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right but nothing is moving? Like you have tried to think positive, you have read the books, you have made the vision board, you have set the intentions, you have prayed, you have meditated, you have journaled at 6 in the morning even when you were exhausted, and yet life still feels the same. Like you're standing at the bottom of a mountain, watching other people reach the top, wondering what you're missing, wondering if something is wrong with you. Wondering if maybe, just maybe, this whole manifestation thing is real for other people, but somehow not for you. If that is where you are right now, I need you to stay with me. Because the problem is not that it is not working. The problem is that you cannot see how much it already is. There is a principle that quietly governs almost everything in life. It's called the compound effect. You've probably heard of it in terms of money. Small amounts invested consistently grow into something extraordinary over time. $100 a month doesn't feel life-changing, but 20 years later, with compound interest doing its work in the background, that same habit has built something that takes your breath away. And here's what most people never realize. The exact same law applies to your thoughts, your energy, your habits, your self-worth, and your vibration. Every thought you think on a regular basis is an investment. Every morning you wake up and choose gratitude, even slightly, even imperfectly, you are making a deposit into an account that the universe is holding for you. Every time you catch a negative thought and gently redirect it, that is a deposit. Every time you choose to speak about your future with even a little bit of hope instead of fear, that is a deposit. Every small act of self-respect, every boundary you hold, every moment you choose your peace over drama, every time you do the thing even though you're scared, that is a deposit. And they compound, quietly, invisibly, powerfully. You don't feel it in the moment. That's the hard part. That's why most people stop, because in the moment, one good thought feels like nothing. One journaling session feels like nothing. One meditation feels like nothing. One day of eating well or going to bed early or putting your phone down and sitting in silence, it feels insignificant. But it is not insignificant. It is the foundation. I want to tell you something about trees. When a tree is growing underground, before you ever see it, before there is a single leaf or branch visible above the soil, it is building the most important thing it will ever have, its root system. Months pass, sometimes years, and from the outside, the ground looks completely empty. Nothing is happening, at least not where you can see it. But underneath, in the dark, in the silence, the roots are going deeper, spreading wider, getting stronger, building a structure that will one day support something magnificent. And then, one spring, a small green shoot breaks through the surface, and within what seems like a remarkably short time, there's a tree. People who walk by will say, "Look how fast that grew." But that's not the real story. The real story is everything that happened in the dark. That's your story right now. You are the tree in winter. You are the roots going deeper. And if you stop now, if you pull yourself out of the ground because you cannot see the progress, you will never know how close you were. Now I want to do something with you. I want you to just pause for a moment. Put down whatever's in your hands if you can. Sit up a little straighter. Not rigid, just upright, like someone who believes in themselves. And breathe with me. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Fill your lungs completely. Feel your chest and your belly expand. Hold for just a moment, and now breathe out slowly and completely through your mouth. Again, breathe in, pull in calm, pull in clarity, pull in the quiet knowing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Hold and release. Let go of the urgency. Let go of the timeline you think you're behind on. Let go of the comparison and the frustration and the feeling that you have been forgotten. One more time. Breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Good. Now feel this. Feel your body here. Feel the weight of you. You are real. You are present. And you are still here. After everything, you are still here. That is not small. That is everything. I want to speak directly to the version of you that is tired. Not physically tired, although maybe that too, but spiritually tired. The version of you that has been hoping for a long time, that has been trying quietly and without applause to become someone better, to build something real, to feel okay, to feel like you matter, to feel like the life you keep dreaming about is actually possible for you. That version of you deserves to hear something important. Nothing was wasted, not one effort, not one prayer, not one morning you chose to try again, even though the night before had broken you a little. Not one moment you chose kindness when bitterness would have been easier. Not one step you took in the right direction, even when the ground felt uncertain. Every single one of those moments was a deposit, and they have been compounding this entire time. You just cannot see the account balance yet, but the universe can, and everything, every choice, every thought, every tiny invisible act of faith has been recorded, has been honored, has been building towards something. Keep going. Here is what the law of attraction actually looks like in real life, not the highlight reel version, the real version. It looks like someone choosing a slightly better thought on a Tuesday morning when they do not feel like it. It looks like someone who journals for 5 minutes even though they are exhausted because they know those 5 minutes matter. It looks like someone who catches themselves saying, "I cannot," and changes it to, "I am figuring it out." It looks like someone who sets one small goal and follows through, not because the goal is massive, but because keeping promises to yourself builds the kind of self-trust that eventually makes you unshakable. It looks like someone who sits in stillness, even for a few minutes a day, not because they have it all figured out, but because they understand that stillness is where clarity lives. It looks like someone who chooses to believe, even without evidence, even without proof, even when the outer world says otherwise, that things are working out for them. That person is not living a perfect life, but that person is compounding, and over time, that person becomes someone they do not fully recognize. Not because something dramatic happened, but because thousands of small moments quietly added up to a transformation. That person can be you. That person is becoming you right now. Let me give you something simple to take with you. One question, that's it. Just one question to ask yourself every single day, as many times as you need to. Is this a deposit or a withdrawal? When your alarm goes off and your first thought is dread, and you lie there rehearsing everything that could go wrong today, ask yourself, deposit or withdrawal? When you open your phone before you have even spoken a kind word to yourself, deposit or withdrawal? When you talk about your dreams like they're stupid, like they are too big, like they are for other people, deposit or withdrawal? When you rest without guilt because your body needs it, deposit. When you choose to see one thing to be grateful for, even in a hard day, deposit. when you take one small action toward the life you want, even when fear says wait. Deposit. When you speak to yourself the way you would speak to someone you deeply love. Deposit. You do not have to win every moment. That is not the goal. The goal is just to tip the scales, slightly, consistently, more deposits than withdrawals, day after day. That is it. That is the entire strategy, and it works. It works because the compound effect is not a motivational concept, it is a law of nature, and laws do not have exceptions. Now I want you to say these with me. Silently is fine, or out loud if you can. Say them slowly. Let them land. Every thought I think is shaping my reality. I am not behind, I am building. The universe sees every effort I make, even the ones nobody else sees. I trust the process, even when I cannot see the results. I choose deposits today. Small steps taken consistently are more powerful than I realize. I am becoming someone I will be proud of. Everything counts, and so do I. Let those sit for a moment. Those are not just words. Those are new patterns being written into your mind. Every time you affirm something with intention, you are making a deposit. You just made 8 of them. Before we close, I want to say one more thing. A lot of people are going to finish this video and feel inspired. They're going to feel the shift. They're going to feel the possibility. And then life is going to happen. The old thought pattern will show up uninvited. The day will get hard, and that feeling of clarity will start to fade. And here's what I want you to remember in that moment. That moment is not a failure. That moment is the compound effect asking you a question. It is asking, do you believe this enough to choose it again right now? And every time you say yes, even imperfectly, even quietly, even when nobody is watching, you make a deposit, and it compounds. This is how people change, not in one big dramatic moment, in 1,000 quiet ones. Be patient with yourself. Be consistent with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Because the version of you that exists 1 year from now, if you start making deposits today, will be someone extraordinary. Not perfect, extraordinary. There is a difference. Perfect is an illusion. Extraordinary is built, one ordinary moment at a time. You stayed until the end of this video. That was a deposit. Now go make another one. Just one, right now, today. One kind thought, one moment of stillness, one step towards something that matters to you, one promise kept to yourself. Watch what happens when you stop waiting for the lightning bolt and start honoring the quiet spark. The compound effect is already in motion. The only question is whether you are working with it or against it. Choose to work with it, starting right now, starting today. Everything counts, every single thing.